And we are live, guys. Thank you for being patient and welcome to my review for the biggest pay-per-view of the summer. Happened last night, live on the WWE Network. Of course, I'm talking about SummerSlam 2017. So for anybody that is joining me for this live morning review, once again, thank you for watching. The live chat will be open throughout this entire video. So if you want to leave your thoughts as we run down through the entire SummerSlam card on what you thought of the matches, what did you like, what didn't you like? Because this show was definitely a show, as I said in the title here, a show, a bag of mixed results. You know, it's the best way to describe how I felt coming out of SummerSlam 2017. It ended on a really, really strong note with that fatal four-way match, but throughout a large majority of this card, it just felt like it was going nowhere. It was dragging significantly. This show, it proved my point in being that you don't need a 2-hour pre-show. Hell, you don't. I mean, 4 hours is plenty of time, let alone adding on a 2-hour pre-show. I just felt like if you cut down on the time of this show and you just focus in on the stuff that you have that was really good, because there was some really good stuff on this show. I just feel kind of an average. We got an average show coming out of SummerSlam when there was potential for something to be really good. And then, I felt like the first half of the show really, really dragged badly. That first hour, that was really rough. And I felt things did not really start picking up until Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks. From then on, I enjoyed the show much more so. But when it comes to the first half of the show, there was a big dip in terms of quality and questionable booking decisions up and down the card. So that's why I said in the title, it's a mixed bag of results. Best way I can describe SummerSlam 2017. I want to compare it back to SummerSlam 2016. Which show did I enjoy more so? I don't know. I feel like they're kind of the same, and really you look back with the 4-hour experiment, making SummerSlam 4 hours, has that experiment paid off? I'd have to say it hasn't, because so far all of these 4-hour SummerSlams have just been kind of average to maybe above average. But you look back from, I was rewatching some of them. SummerSlam 2012, which I thought was good. 2013 was good. 2013 is one of my favorites of all time. And 2014, they were all 3-hour shows. Everything mattered. It just packed a nice punch. It left you wanting more, not less. And like I said, that main event was really, really good, but overall, just kind of an average SummerSlam, an average show. Compared to NXT the night before, it doesn't even come close. NXT was the show of the weekend. So we'll start from the bottom. We'll briefly talk about the pre-show. Now, I did not watch the pre-show, as you all know. I can't. One, I have stuff to do for law school, and two, 4 hours is plenty of time. So I'll briefly run through the results, and then we'll talk about the main card itself. We have a rematch from Monday Night Raw. I don't know why we're doing this match again. The Miz and the Miztourage versus the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan. Apparently, Miz hits the skull-crushing finale on Jason Jordan and picks up the win. So Jordan wins on Raw. They lose here. 50-50 booking. Sounds good to me, right? Nobody gets over. So, yeah. Don't really have too much to say about that. We have, I called this one the Cruiserweight Championship match. Neville versus Akira Tozawa. And I'm really not surprised here to report to you that Neville is your new Cruiserweight champion. He beat Akira Tozawa and regained the Cruiserweight Championship back. Something told me that if Tozawa, which he won on Monday, he'll probably drop the title back to Neville on Sunday. So Neville hit the red arrow apparently for the win, and he is now your new Cruiserweight champion. Don't really have too much to say about that other than I don't think it really made too much sense to take the title off of Neville and actually do the rematch, do the original match on Raw and then do the rematch here on the pay-per-view. I was like, okay, why are you doing this? Kind of confused here. So I guess Neville is just going to have another long run with the Cruiserweight Championship, which I'm fine with because I think that he has really honed and, taken that role as his own, as the king of the Cruiserweights. But Neville, yep, Once again, your Cruiserweight champion. Now, the match that honestly should have been on the main card and wasn't was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. And this is a match that I probably will have to go back and watch because I heard good things about. No surprise here. The New Day defending their SmackDown Tag Team Championships versus the Usos. And in a surprise move here, although I'm pretty sure I think I predicted that the Usos would walk out with the championship. Something told me that they were going to beat the New Day here, and that's exactly what they did here. But I heard these two had a really awesome tag team championship match, and honestly, this should have been on the main show, and Big Cass versus Big Show should have been moved to the pre-show. You move that around, and let's change the order of this card structure, which I thought hampered SummerSlam last night. You put the New Day and the Usos on in the opening match, that gets the crowd really fired up and ready to go. Versus doing what they did, and we'll talk about that next. But from the looks of it, this should have been the opening match for SummerSlam. But the Usos apparently crushed Big E with dual top rope splashes, and they pick up the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So can't say I can't argue against the Usos winning SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. They've really been on. They've been doing some of the best work of their career when it comes to promo ability, just where their overall character development has gone. They've really come into their own in this heel run, and they look like they're having so much fun with it as well. And I've really enjoyed the feud between the New Day and the Usos. So let's see what is next for both teams and for the SmackDown Live Tag Team division as well. So then we finally get to, well, there's one thing. There's one thing that I have to talk about before this, and I knew that I had to bring this up in this live review. We had a KFC commercial, and Shawn Michaels, I kid you not, came to the ring dressed as Colonel Sanders and danced around the ring. I think silence best sums this up. My reaction when I first saw this was, what the fuck am I watching? Why is Shawn Michaels, the legendary Shawn Michaels, coming down to the ring dressed as Colonel Sanders? If this does not prove how out of touch this company and Vince is, I don't know what does. Who in their right mind thought this would be a good idea? Who in their right mind thought this would be a good use of a Hall of Famer like Shawn Michaels? Wow, what a waste. What a freaking waste. And why? So you could plug KFC? You couldn't have done this in another way? I don't know. I just felt like it was weird and just kind of set the tone for what was to come for SummerSlam 2017. We then get into the main card. We kick things off with John Cena versus Baron Corbin. And what surprised me was right out of the get-go, there was not really anything different from Baron Corbin. His attitude, his offense. I thought he would be coming down to the ring full of piss and vinegar, and just unloading on the guy, John Cena, that cost him his Money in the Bank briefcase, took away his opportunity to become a world champion. I thought, okay, they're going to have a plan going into this. The plan is Corbin loses, but he will come out of this looking stronger as a result of a new attitude change due to the fact that Cena took away his one-way ticket to world championship glory. But no, we have Cena putting on JBL's cowboy hat and joking around, and I don't know. I wasn't really paying too much attention to Cena and Corbin because I was having a party, so I was trying to get everybody situated and what have you. But when I came back and I heard that John Cena hit one, this is where we're at now. One attitude adjustment. Not two, not three, not 5, 6, 7. One attitude adjustment to beat Baron Corbin as he moves over to the Raw brand. I'm just like, I don't like to throw around the term buried, but there's another time I'll use that term. I really don't, but Corbin loses the Money in the Bank briefcase. You think, okay, well then he's going to beat Cena, right? Keep his momentum. No, he also loses them to John Cena at SummerSlam. So somebody tell me in my right mind, I won't name the person's name, but you know who you are. How did you think this was a good idea? Because it really makes Corbin look like a fool and an idiot and a loser. So he doesn't have Money in the Bank. He lost to John Cena. And yes, wins and losses still do matter. To me, they matter. They should matter to this company too. So you better do something good with Baron Corbin next, because I don't know where you go with him. I really don't. So that was disappointing to see. And the match itself was just okay. There was really nothing that I thought was really that special about the match. We then go to Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It was an all right match. Kind of a little slow towards the end, but towards the beginning, I should say. It actually picked up a little bit towards the end here when, of course, Naomi tried to lock her submission onto Natalya, but Natalya was able to counter out of that, reversed into the sharpshooter. Naomi rolled Natalya into the turnbuckle. Naomi tried for the split-legged moonsault, but Natalya, she was able to get her knee up. Natalya locked in the sharpshooter, and this was a shocker to me over the fact that Natalya beat Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship, like I said, in an all-right match. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just all right. I was surprised Natalya beat her clean. And the fact that we didn't get a Money in the Bank cash-in from Carmella. I thought for sure it's in Brooklyn. They're going to send her out there. Maybe they do something on Tuesday, but yeah, it was surprising to me to see Natty win. I didn't think she was going to win. I'm happy for Natalya winning. When was the last time she held a women's championship? Somebody answer me that. If in the comments after this video is uploaded, when was the last time Natalya held on to a women's championship? Because seriously, it escapes me. That's how long it's really been. But it was an all right match. Like I said, not bad at all. And considering what we saw before and after it, it was light years away better. So this is probably my pick for worst match of the night, although that's tough. These two are really bad. Potentially some worst match of the year contenders. I mean, they were just dull and lifeless. Did anybody really want to see Big Show versus Big Cass with Enzo Amore in a shark cage? I'm sure none of us really wanted to see this at all. So instead of putting this on the pre-show and putting the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the main card where it should have been, we get this crap instead. Enzo coming out, cutting a promo, rambling on about what I really don't know anymore. And then Big Cass, a.k.a. Big Ass, he comes out. And then we get really what was a slow, plodding match between Big Cass and Big Show. If you were expecting Braun Strowman versus the Big Show level quality, you didn't really get that here. If you were expecting possibly Enzo to turn heel and align with Big Cass, I'm not sure that would make much sense, but hey, it would be something at least. I don't know at this point. You didn't get that. Enzo stripped down to his boxers. He pulled out a bottle of oil, I kid you not, put it on himself. Sounds so wrong. And he was able to get out of the shark cage. And Cass hit him with a big boot. Cass hit two big boots on Big Show, followed by the Empire Elbow for the win. So to quote the great Kurt Angle's theme music, this sucked. This sucked. This sucked. You get my point. This sucked. And speaking of, oh boy, here we go. This is going to be a good one. Randy Orton. Blandy Orton versus Rusev. Rusev Machka. Poor Rusev. This makes me feel bad for Rusev and less so Randy Orton. So explain to me in this match, before the bell even rings, Rusev is so enraged. Him and Randy Orton have been embroiled in such a blood feud that Rusev feels the need to come out and attack Randy Orton before the match begins. Wouldn't it have made more sense for Baron Corbin to do this to John Cena? Considering the fact that he cost him the Money in the Bank briefcase, I just thought of that. I'm like, why is Rusev so enraged at Randy Orton? Did he do something with Lana? I don't know. Like, what's going on here? It was very confusing to me, guys. So Rusev beats down Orton, and eventually they get back into the ring. Bell finally rings, and I kid you not, Rusev misses a corner splash. Orton hits an RKO for the win. I'm trying to stay positive, but when crap like this was a brutal first hour. My God, this felt like 5 hours. So Rusev, I will use this term. I don't like using it, but Rusev was buried here. I heard rumors. I don't know if it's true. Nobody knows, but I heard rumors that he requested his release. Is that true? Is it not? We'll see, but Wouldn't it certainly make sense here based on the way he was booked? I mean, he was literally just made to look like a fool against Randy Orton. So yeah, Orton wins. Yay. So this is where things, if you were able to make it through all that, and actually I recommend if you watch SummerSlam on replay, just skip everything here, watch the New Day versus the Usos, and then pick up right where Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss happens. Crowd was really dead going into this, although they finally came back to life towards the end of this show, thank God. So far this show really ain't looking that good. There's really been nothing of note. Like I said, the only match that I liked up to this point was Natalya versus Naomi, and that was just okay. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks, I thought they had a good match. Maybe a little bit more time, it could have turned into something even better. But I was really happy to see here that Sasha Banks was able to lock in the bank statement and make Alexa Bliss tap out, and Sasha finally gets a nice moment here at SummerSlam and won the Raw Women's Championship. And I like Alexa Bliss, and I also like Sasha Banks. I'd like to see this feud really get fleshed out and continue because, think about it, they really haven't feuded per se. I mean, Sasha only became number one contender like a week or so before Great Balls of Fire. Same thing here with SummerSlam. So let's have these two go at it again, and have another match, which I'd be fine with. Add a stipulation, Falls Count Anywhere perhaps, at the next pay-per-view. Do some promo battles between these two, which I would really like to see because I think there's some animosity and heat that exists behind the scenes. But yeah, I thought this was a good match. Not the best match that I thought we could have gotten out of these two, but certainly up until this point on the show, it was the match that I enjoyed the most, and that just goes to show you how the show was going. But I was happy to see that Sasha Banks won the Raw Women's Championship fair and square after locking in that bank statement. We then go to Bray Wyatt, the eater of pins, who ate another one tonight. Oh, Bray. I just care less and less. Versus the Demon, Finn Bálor, who had a badass entrance. It's great once again to see the return, the rise of the Demon. We have not seen him since SummerSlam last year, and thankfully this year, Finn Bálor came out of SummerSlam unscathed. I thought these two had an enjoyable match here. Bray Wyatt trying to cut the Demon off at every opportunity. The one nice part of the match, well, there was a couple nice parts that I did like from the match here when, Ballard, or should I say Bray Wyatt, does this creepy spider walk, and then the Demon just pretty much cuts him off and gets right in Wyatt's face. That was a really nice spot there. That you can expect from Finn Bálor. He did hit a lot of drop kicks, as my friend Elliot, shout out to him, did mention last night. Some counters back and forth where Bray Wyatt tried to lock in the Sister Abigail, but Bálor was able to hit the Sling Blade. That was another nice spot. Bálor was able to drop kick Bray Wyatt off the top rope, hit the Eye of the Hurricane. Finn Bálor did. Excuse me. Then towards the end, Finn Bálor hit another Sling Blade, and Bálor hit... Excuse me, guys. I apologize for that. Bálor hits the Sling Blade. Bálor hits torpedo dropkick on Bray Wyatt. Bálor lands and hits the coup de grace for the win. So the Demon remains undefeated in competition here. And it was the right move to make. The Demon should not be losing. Like I said, I thought these two had a good match. And, this is finally the part of the show where things started to turn around. And it was great to see the Demon back. His entrance is something just completely different. Something that, with the lighting and everything, with the creepy, they got the whole world in its hands that they played in his hands before the match. If you watch the show, it was great. It was very well done. Then we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Sheamus and Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Another good match. Like I said, this was the part of the show where it flowed much better. Like I said, if they cut the show down an hour, it would have been so much better. So one thing that was really funny during this match, the crowd started to play with a beach ball, and I'm sure it pissed the guys off because, they're trying to work hard in the ring, and, Cesaro got out of the ring. He grabbed the beach ball and destroyed it. and that helped put some heat on Sheamus and Cesaro. But I was just like, what the hell is Cesaro doing? He just starts running out into the crowd. He grabs the beach ball, and he destroys it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But really, for a lot of this match, when Dean Ambrose got in there, he took a brunt of the punishment here against Sheamus and Cesaro. I mean, he really got the crap kicked out of him. Towards the end of the match, Ambrose and Rollins tried to hit the Shield. Well, it wouldn't be a triple. It'd be a double power bomb on Sheamus, but Cesaro was able to break it up. Cesaro hit the giant swing on Dean Ambrose, counter that into the sharpshooter, and Sheamus hit the rolling senton on Rollins. I thought for sure this is where Dean Ambrose was going to tap out. He almost got to the ropes, but then Cesaro countered that into a crossface on Dean Ambrose for a very long time. Ambrose was able to get to the rope somehow and break the hold. And this was the best spot of the match. So Cesaro and Sheamus were attempting to go for their finisher after they hit a clothesline, hit a powerbomb clothesline. And Rollins springboards up off the top rope, hits a Hurricane Rana's onto Cesaro from the top rope, and Cesaro flew right into Sheamus. Rollins hit super kicks on Sheamus and Cesaro, and then Dean Ambrose is able to hit the Dirty Deeds for the win and on Cesaro. And your new Raw Tag Team Champions are 2/3 of the Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I love it. I think it's a great move to make because there's still a lot of apprehension and unpredictability of can these guys remain on the same page. And this was a good match, really good match. I liked it. These two teams work well with one another, and it'll be interesting to see where this story goes, between the personal relationship between Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So good stuff all around from all parties involved. And afterwards, I noticed on Twitter, Matt and Jeff, they were kind of teasing a showdown between 2/3 of the Shield versus the Hardy Boys. Do I want to see that match at No Mercy? Yes. 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 So good stuff all around. There was good stuff on the show. It's just you really had to suffer through an hour of mediocrity to get to it. I really like the United States Championship match between AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. I liked throughout the entire match the story that was being told of Shane McMahon's involvement and Kevin Owens constantly getting more and more frustrated. And I have to say, between these two, this was the best match that Kevin Owens and AJ Styles has had here in WWE. So just a couple spots to, reiterate here. Owens, towards the middle portion of the match, he pushed Shane onto the ropes. That led to AJ Styles getting crotched. Owens tried to hit a superplex, but Styles was able to hit a sunset flip powerbomb. So that was a nice spot. And as Shane was checking on Owens, I like this. It looked like he might have been, had his head injured. Shane was going over to check on him. AJ hit a springboard 450, and Owens smartly pulled Shane over him, and Shane got, taken out by AJ Styles. So bad intentions there by Kevin Owens. So Shane comes over, and as AJ goes for the, or should I say Owens goes for the cover, hits pop-up powerbomb. Shane does a slow count, and AJ Styles is able to kick out there. So once again, Owens keeps getting back in Shane's face. So something's building and something will happen. Once again, Owens rakes Styles' eyes, and he pushes AJ Styles into Shane McMahon. That leads to Shane falling to the outside. And Styles has the calf, I'll call it the calf crusher, locked in on Kevin Owens. Owens is tapping, but of course Shane McMahon has been knocked outside of the ring, and he has to get back in there. So he does not see Kevin Owens tapping out. Owens goes for a cannonball. Styles hits him with a forearm. Slowly moving towards the end of the match, Styles hits Styles Clash on Kevin Owens, but Owens was able to kick out of that. Didn't look like he got all of them there. He, of course, the second time he hit the Styles Clash, it was enough to defeat Kevin Owens, but Styles then attempted to go for a phenomenal forearm. Kevin Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb. Styles got his foot on the ropes, and this just enraged Kevin Owens. This is where he just completely lost it. Really got up in Shane's face, pushed Shane. Shane pushed him back. That led to roll up by AJ Styles. I thought for sure this is going to be the finish right here. Owens kicks out. Styles hits a Pele kick, hits phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, and a Styles Clash. And for good measure, AJ Styles walks out as your United States champion. And it looks like we're going to be getting a feud between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. There's a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up. I'm just saying. I hope that's the next SmackDown pay-per-view. Please don't add another one between now and then. One pay-per-view a month is fine. I really think it is. So I thought this was a really good match. It was a really, really good match. Best match these two had, and I thought the element of adding Shane McMahon as special guest referee was exactly what this match needed to have. And I was really happy to see AJ Styles retain his United States Championship because the belt has really just been going so much back and forth, hot potatoing. So they're going with AJ. He'll move on to something else. What that is, I'm not quite sure. Perhaps a feud with heel Randy Orton for the United States Championship. That sounds good to me. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But, yeah, really good match between these two. And then had Shinsuke Nakamura with his badass violent entrance, the King of Strong Style versus the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. I thought the match was fine. It was average. It was okay. But what really baffled me is the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura did not beat Jinder Mahal here for the WWE Championship. On a stage as big as SummerSlam and a crowd that was in the palm of his hand. And it just really confused me as to why. I know he'll get that championship eventually, but you need to pull the trigger here on the biggest stage of SummerSlam. And the fact that they didn't, and the fact that he gave him this big entrance and, put the spotlight really on Shinsuke. You had Japanese commentary and Hindu commentary briefly during the match, and it just felt like this was going to be the time that Shinsuke would walk out as WWE champion. Would have been a big deal. Came off with his big win over John Cena. Has a lot of momentum heading into this pay-per-view. And the Singh brothers interfere. Mahal sneaks up behind Nakamura and hits his finisher for the win. I'm just like, man, really? I'm sure they'll do a rematch and the Singh brothers will be banned, or it'll be, I don't know, whatever. They'll be banned from ringside, but it's just like, this was the time to do it. Not wait till the next SmackDown pay-per-view. I mean, you do it when you strike the iron hot, and I just really have been cooled to a Jinder Mahal title reign, and the idea of him holding that title for another month or two just makes me go, okay. So I know Shinsuke, I hope Shinsuke eventually gets that title. He should. He's ready. And if they don't put it on him and they have Mahal beat him again, that would be a baffling decision. A baffling decision. But it wasn't a bad match. It's just the finish of the match just left me going, really? So, and not really too much else to say about that match. Talk about the fucking phenomenal match of the year candidate, Fatal 4-Way. For the Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar defending his title against Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman. And this was really, I'd have to say, Braun's night. Braun smash. Because Braun took it to Lesnar, Reigns, and Joe. He opened up a can of whoop ass like I haven't seen in a long time. His path of destruction was something that was able to take Brock Lesnar out of the match. It was able to, dismantle both. Well, he really took it to Joe and Reigns, but Braun Strowman in this match, holy crap. I mean, it was just, when him and Lesnar were in the ring, that was the moment where I was like, I want to see these two just go to war with one another. I want to see these two really fight on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. I feel that should be the marquee match, one of the marquee matches at WrestleMania next year. Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. But, man, well, the first epic spot of this match was when Reigns, Joe had the coquina clutch on Lesnar, and Reigns speared Lesnar through the barricade. And after that, that's when Braun Strowman picked up Joe and pounced him and threw him through one of the announcers' table. That was only one, because there was more to come. And then Strowman picked up Lesnar and hit a running power slam through the announcers' table. And then Strowman picked up the remaining announcers' table and dumped it on top of Brock Lesnar. So Lesnar's out. He's getting carted out of there. Great selling by Lesnar. He's taken to the back. He's out of the match. So now it comes down to Strowman, Reigns, and Joe. And then Strowman picks up the announcer's chair and throws it at both Reigns and Joe. So once again, Reigns just can't escape punishment from Braun Strowman. And like I said, Lesnar's taken out as a result of Strowman dumping the announcer's table on top of him. Strowman uses the steel steps, hits him on Joe. Strowman hits Reigns with the steel steps. And then it comes down to Reigns and Strowman. Reigns is able to hit, it looked like he hit Strowman with the point of the steel steps. So I think that's how Braun got busted open near his ear area, near his, up here towards the temple. But and then it comes down to Joe and Reigns. And Joe hit a nice, I love his running senton for a near fall, for a 2 count. And actually Reigns hit Joe, I should say, with a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Hello, thank you for watching the live review. Like I said, we were talking about the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship. Like I said, this was a great match. This was well worth slugging it through that first hour until the show finally picked up. Reigns and Joe are going at it. Joe has Coquina Clutch locked in. Strowman gets back in there, hits a double choke slam on both Strowman, or Strowman hits a double choke slam on both Reigns and Joe. Eventually, Brock Lesnar makes his way, because you knew he was coming back. Brock Lesnar makes his way down. He German suplexes Reigns and Joe, and eventually Lesnar tries to German suplex Braun Strowman, but he's unable to. Strowman locks in the Kimura on Braun Strowman. Reigns hits a Superman punch on Lesnar, Joe, and then Braun Strowman. And then Reigns hits a sloppy-looking spear on Brock Lesnar. Didn't get all of them there. Wasn't the best-looking spear. And then Joe locked in the Coquina Clutch on freaking this was just pure craziness towards the end. He has the clutch locked in on Reigns. Strowman drop kicks both of them. Strowman hits a power slam on Joe. Lesnar then pulls the referee out to avoid the count. And then Strowman hits his running power slam on Reigns. I thought that was going to be up there, but Roman breaks, or should I say Lesnar breaks up the pin there. Lesnar hits Braun Strowman with an F5. That was incredible to see him pick up that big man like that. Strowman, though, was able to reverse it into a power slam. That was a really nice reversal there. But Reigns hit the spear on both of them. Joe threw out both of Reigns and Strowman and locked in the Coquina Clutch on Lesnar. And I was really hoping this was going to be the moment that Samoa Joe won the Universal Championship. But Lesnar was able to turn it into an F5, which he hit on Samoa Joe. But Reigns broke up the pin there. Multiple Superman punches by Roman Reigns. Tries to go for the spear, but Brock Lesnar counters, hits the F5 for the win, and still, your Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. So a result that I kind of saw coming. Was kind of disappointed that Samoa Joe wasn't victorious. Hell, even Braun Strowman. But what I was really shocked about was Roman Reigns ate the pin here at SummerSlam. And I don't know if you guys knew this. But after tonight, Roman Reigns has not won on pay-per-view since WrestleMania 33. So that was really shocking to see. Because I thought maybe Roman would be the one to walk out with the title. And then you have Ambrose and Rollins, perhaps having a Shield reunion. But Lesnar retains. We know he's going to be at No Mercy. I ask you guys watching in the live chat and comment down below. Who would you like to see Brock Lesnar fight at the No Mercy pay-per-view? Perhaps another match with Samoa Joe, because I would say Braun Strowman. But I want to save that match. That needs to take place at WrestleMania next year. That would be my WrestleMania opponent and match for Brock Lesnar. I would not want to see that happen at No Mercy. Maybe you do a triple threat. Since Roman got pinned, he's out of the equation, and you move him on to something else. And you do Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, considering they were not pinned. But that's just my idea. So, overall, mixed bag with SummerSlam 2017. My grade for this show tonight, I'm going to give it a C+. Like I said, I enjoyed everything from Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks onward. The stuff before that you can really skip. So it really is a tale of two shows. Once again, and proves why. Just do 4 hours. Don't do a 2-hour pre-show. If you're going to do 4, you don't need that. You know, just do the best you can. Get the guys that you can fit into that 4-hour time slot on the card, because not everybody can get on the card. And just come up with the best possible card you can. You didn't need to do big cast versus big show. or Randy Orton versus Rusev. That just felt like a waste of time, you know? So I would like to see that happen next year. But that is it, guys, for this live video review. I want to say thank you, everybody that tuned in live for this early morning review. It's a lot easier doing these after these big shows, the day after, just to gather and collect my thoughts here. Remember to help this channel grow and reach 300 subscribers. I'm only 3 away. Please click that like and subscribe button. YouTube.com/DanielGaza412 for all my latest thoughts and opinions. Be sure to follow me on Twitter @DanielGaza412 for more of my thoughts. And that is it, guys. I will see you guys whenever my next video will be. So until then, guys, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.